Stories with a stoner. Not that kind of stoner. This kind of stoner.
Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. This is Stories with a Stoner. It's either me or the costume. I don't know yet. But hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. If you're interested in the costuming process from beginning to end, and you'd like to listen to inspirational stories, then you're in the right place. Here on this channel, we like to dive into inspirational stories because we all need motivation from time to time. And you're also able to watch the stoning process of the costume. Sometimes there's sewing, sometimes there's feathers, sometimes there's just whatever. You get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of what goes on here behind the scenes of making a beautiful costume, while you get to listen to a great story. So yeah, glad you're here. We are on chapter 3, so if you would like to go back, you can check out my channels for chapter 1 and chapter 2 of Sheep Ears by Sherry Witt. She is an author that is currently residing in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Get your map out, it's okay. Just find Arkansas, go to the center and go down a little bit. For those of you that have been here a few times, you notice that Dolly's not here. She had a previous engagement, and so I brought in Smalley. But Smalley is just as beautiful. She is wearing a lovely tap number. It's a little dancing, singing in the rain number with a little twirl. Yeah. This costume is currently available for sale. I'll list it in my Etsy shop below. I will also list a link to the story, and if you've ever got any questions about the costuming process or the design process or questions about the book, just leave me a comment. And while you're there, just go ahead and give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you never miss a notification of a new story coming out. We like to try to get them out once a week with the updated chapter. And I believe this is a new costume that you're going to get to see in the process for this week. Pretty sure? Okay. All right, so in this, the chapters are very short, and then there's just a few questions at the end. So, I like to just give it a good read through and then answer the questions based on how I feel. You can answer the questions based on how you feel. That's okay too. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with chapter 3. Have you ever asked God to pick a friend for you? My best girlfriend in the world was Gwendolyn Sue McNulty. We called her Sue. I first got acquainted with her after I was attacked by 2 dogs. She was the secretary of the school where I worked. When I returned to school after a 3-week recovery, she took me to a clothing store and told me to pick out a scarf as a gift of encouragement. After that trip to the store, we started to bond. We ate lunch together every day at school. We went garage sale hopping and even went to the dirt track races for a different kind of outing. I helped her polish her silver once a year. It took all day. And at Christmas, wrapped her presents for her. This took about 2 days. Christmas was her favorite time of year. She kept one tree up year-round and put another one up right before Thanksgiving. Her house was always decked out in holiday spirit. Sue informed me one day that she was having some health problems, so she was going to the doctor. She said, "I'll be fine. Most likely it's a bladder infection." But it was cancer. After one of her kidneys was removed, her doctor said everything should be okay, and for a while it was. Then she told me that her problem had returned. Sue had her other kidney removed, and dialysis became her lifeline. Sue was a very strong woman I truly admired as well as loved. She continued working, and we still ate lunch together, still enjoyed going to garage sales, but there was always the underlying knowledge that her days were numbered, barring a miracle. On my 54th birthday, I called Sue to rib her about forgetting my birthday. She had forgotten it the previous year and asked me not to let it happen again. Earlier that week on Tuesday, we had a nice but short visit and told each other, "I love you," before we parted. When I called her that Friday night, I didn't expect what her husband said. "I'm sorry, Sue won't be able to talk to you tonight or any other night." She took a turn for the worse, and I don't think she's going to make it. I was devastated. She was hospitalized and put on a morphine drip to combat her constant pain. I never got to talk with her again. We had been close friends for 12 years, and I had a big hole in my heart. I knew that Sue was in a better place, free of pain, but I missed her terribly. 6 months later, I went through a tough time at work. Sue had always been the one who had consoled and advised me through any crisis I might have. That's when her death really hit hard. She was gone. I went into a period of grief that I couldn't shake for about 4 months. As I grieved, I prayed, "God, I really miss Sue. I know she's in heaven, but I'm still here and I feel lost. Please send me a godly friend. Pick one out for me, because I know that you know who I need and who needs me." My mom is great, but she lives 9 hours away. I love my husband, but sometimes I just need a gal pal. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Several women came in and out of my life, but none of them felt like a godly appointment. I was content to wait, though, because I knew that when God set a friendship up, it would be right. However, I was extremely lonely while I waited. No one but God knew to what degree I wore a smile on my face, but the hole was still there, deep in my heart. About 10 months after Sue passed, I went to Walmart after Wednesday night's church service. I recognized a lady from church pushing her buggy, and she recognized me. We exchanged a slight wave and said hi. About 5 minutes later, we passed each other again, exchanged another slight wave, and spoke briefly. When this happened a third time, we started laughing. Walmart is so big, it would be hard to find someone in that supersized store, even if you were looking for them. And here we had run into each other 3 times. It was unusual. "God, is there some reason you want me to see this lady?" I thought. "Yes, the next time you see her, introduce yourself." So I lingered in the store a little longer than usual. I was hoping to see her again, but it didn't happen. At the next Wednesday night service, I spotted her in the pew, remembered my assignment, and stuck out my hand. "Excuse me, but I think I'm supposed to introduce myself to you. My name is Sherry." She told me her name was Gwen. Her name was the short version of Sue's first name. What a coincidence. I really wasn't sure what to do after that, so I asked if she wanted me to pray with her about something. She needed some direction about finances, and I wanted to find a place to take my grandchildren swimming that summer. After our prayers, God put a word in my heart to give her. I told her that I had friends who had gotten a reverse mortgage. This eventually led to action that was the answer to her desperate prayer. I thanked God for giving me wisdom and a listening ear. God also found a solution to my swimming issue. I figured that was the end of our association, so I didn't think much more about our encounter. But God had a different plan. Gwen and I kept noticing each other in church, so we decided to sit together. Things were very casual. We had a polite conversation about the weather, the dates of our birthdays, the good sermons Pastor Bell preached. For some reason, her birthday kept sticking in my mind. Take her out to eat for her birthday, and take her out to a play at the Arts and Science Center, God said. God, I barely know her. She may think I'm a weirdo. She will probably say no. Anyway, that's all right, just ask. And ask I did. She surprised me when she said yes. Gwen actually seemed happy that I asked her. Whew! At least she didn't think I was a fruitcake. We went to the play and ate at Chili's afterwards. Something happened as we sat there. I was talking to her when God interrupted my thoughts. "Sherry, this is the friend I have picked for you." Oh my, I had forgotten my request. God was setting us up for a friendship. I could tell that she felt the same way. We bonded at that meal and have been inseparable ever since. As she explained, it's like we're two little girls playing in a sandbox, or two friends kicking a can down the street, just happy to be in each other's presence. I can finish her sentences, and she can finish mine. It's hard to explain. She encourages me when I'm down, and I encourage her when she's down. Ours is a spiritual friendship set up by God. There are friends who pretend to be friends, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs 18:24 LB. David had Jonathan, Jesus had Peter, James and John, and Paul had Timothy, and now I had Gwen. Everyone needs a God-appointed friend. I have gone into great detail about how we met so that you could see how gradually a friendship begins. There are no bells, whistles, or thunder crashes, only small nudges. Do you have a heart that aches for a friend you've lost? Do you wish God would pick a friend for you? It's possible, you know. God says, yes, ask anything using my name and I will do it. John 14:14 LB. You can be assured that God is pleased when you ask Him. Maybe you need a godly husband, just ask. Maybe you're not able to have children of your own, ask God. He may have children who need you as much as you need them, praying to be adopted. God will help you find each other. And when God sets it up, you'll know it's right. God may interrupt your thoughts and say, I picked them for you. Ask in Jesus' name, believe, do good to others, and wait for God to contact you. Don't be impatient for the Lord to act. Keep traveling steadily along his pathway, and in due season, he will honor you with every blessing. Psalms 34:34 LB. That includes husband, children, and friends. All right, so in this one, we have 7 questions. Sometimes the author will give us a scriptural reference, and sometimes it's a free-for-all, and you just get whatever comes out of my mouth. Question number 1. Has God ever brought you together supernaturally with a friend? Who is he, she? How do you feel about that relationship? So there is a scriptural reference that I'm going to read before I get back to my answer. Just as lotions and fragrance give sensual delight, a sweet friendship refreshes the soul. Proverbs 27:9. I think back to probably when I met my husband. That was back in 2002. 2002. We met through friends, and he was just a very introverted person. He didn't like to go out. We had been set up on a blind date once, and he ended up not going. He was a no-show. But through my friend who had set us up on a blind date, through her persistence, she set up another blind date, and he was tricked into coming, and we just had a connection from that day forward, and it was what I needed. His friendship was what I needed. Him as a person was what I needed in my life. So yeah, and I feel wonderful about it, about that friendship. Okay, question 2. Which is better, a nearby friend or a distant relative? Explain your answer. Man, not really sure. There's times where, I've had a friend that has moved away, and when we pick up the phone and talk to each other, it's an immediate connection. It's like we've never been apart, which is fantastic because she knows me. Just from how she hears my voice, she knows what's going on. However, there are times when you just need somebody that can give you a hug, or maybe go with you to get something to eat, or to get a coffee or something. So I'm kind of torn. Let's see what she says. Don't leave your friends or your parents' friends and run home to your family when things get rough. Better a nearby friend than a distant family. Proverbs 27:10. So that one, I guess what it's saying also is you need to have somebody nearby that you can go to, instead of kind of running away to go home, or running away to someone that's further away to get your answers. Stay and face your problems. Is kind of what I'm getting out of that response. Okay, number 3. For what reasons do we need to have godly friends? And there's two responses that she has, but I'll tell you, I keep in my mind a visual that I believe my grandfather told me, or it might have been my mom. Both of those have, godly wisdom. So the thing is, you take a piece of fruit, like an apple. If you have an apple that is going bad and you put it in a basket that has just delicious, beautiful apples in it, and you take that one bad apple and you put it in there, what does it do? Its corrosion then bleeds over into the rest of the fruit in the basket. And so to me, that's like a friendship. If you have a friend, or you have someone that's coming into your circle, into your basket of friends, that has bad habits or inappropriate lifestyle, those good apples, those good friends are not going to take that bad apple and make it whole again. The corruption from that one bad apple is eventually going to seep into the other apples and make them bad. So, keep friends around you that are godly and have your same visions, your same desires. But let's see what the author says. The godly give good advice to their friends. The wicked lead them astray. Proverbs 12:26 NLT. The second example. As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Proverb 27:17 NLT. All right. Number 4. What do you feel are qualities of a godly friend? And someone who is always kind, someone who's always thoughtful, someone who doesn't speak out of both sides of their mouth. That's a hard one. You feel like you have a friend, or you know somebody, and speak with them in confidence, and then they tell other people. So yeah, that one's a big one. And generally, treat people the way you want to be treated. So, okay. Number 5. Who was David's close friend? And Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. 1 Samuel 18:3 NIV. All right, guys. Oops, 2 more. Do you believe close friends will be asked to have more responsibility for helping you through hard times? Explain. I believe so. I think that while we should always strive to do things on our own and not become dependent upon others, sometimes you really do just need someone there, whether just knowing that they're there in your corner, or knowing that if you need something, that they will drop whatever it is and come help you. Okay. Jesus saw his mother and the disciples he loved standing near her. He said to his mother, "Woman, here is your son." Then to the disciple, "Here is your mother." From that moment, the disciples accepted her as his own mother. John 19:26 through 27. So yeah, when you have a close friend, they can take on roles for you, kind of an adopted parent, a father figure, a sister, a brother, and that bond just becomes closer and closer. Okay, number 7, last one. Do you need a friend but not know what to pray for? Right now, I feel like God has blessed me with the people that I need in my life. But there may come a day where I need to pray for a friend. So let's see what advice she gives. Don't bargain with God. Be direct. Ask for what you need. This is not a cat and mouse hide and seek we're in. Luke 11:10. All right, guys. Well, that ends chapter 3. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this costume coming along. I hope that the story has given you something to think about. If you are, like I said, if you want to purchase this book, I will leave the information down in the details below if you want to read ahead or maybe reread a chapter that you've seen. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and if so, don't forget to click that subscribe button for me. That just lets me know that you guys are interested. You see me, and you're going to be ready for the next chapter. Speaking of next chapter, let me give you a little sneak preview. What is this one? Chapter 4, guys. Have you ever been attacked by dogs? That does not sound fun, but I am curious to see what has inspired the author to write about that topic. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you being here. It means a lot, and I hope to see you guys soon. As always, sparkle on. Be kind while you do it. Have a great day. Bye.